Welcome to Tough Crowd. Don't wait a minute. Let's start the show, right? Lacey Peterson, Elizabeth Smart, Jean-Benet Ramsey. What do they all have in common? They're all tragedies, of course, but there are a lot of tragedies like this. Are they getting more media play because they were pretty, white, and had a little money? I mean, look at this Ramona Moore right here on page 4 today of the New York Post. College student killed. It's not even a big story. You never see a made-for-TV movie where the victim lives in public housing. It's like if you don't have a good prom picture and a couple of wedding photos, you can't last in the victim business. You're lucky if John Walsh even mentions you. He's out there like, this next case is a missing woman. Not really pretty. There's a $14 reward for information, so there's not really a lot of money there. If you want to call, okay. If you get a busy signal, forget about it, you know. Can you imagine not being hot enough for Amber Alert? Oh, God. Please enjoy this sumptuous feast, Todd. You've never seen this setup. Nobody eats it but me, but if you know. All right. Why do the media and the nation embrace and sympathize with victims that fit this profile? Nick?
The truth of the matter is, if the media had to cover every girl that got kidnapped in the inner city, or what the hell's with the music?
That was me.
Oh, I was at a strip club for a second here.
I was dusting this and I hit my mic.
Should we start over?
They have me working out before the show because they feel like I'm kind of a wet noodle sometimes on the air, my energy. And I'm still sweating from the workout when I come on. Now, go ahead.
So your solution is to add a bass beat to it? If the media had to cover every little girl that got kidnapped or every spouse that got abused in the inner city, the 5 o'clock news would end 2 minutes after Leno's monologue.
You know what? That's baloney. That's baloney.
Oh, those are tough words.
You can look at I know, baloney.
A black guy just said that's baloney.
Wait a minute. Let me say this, though.
Baloney with government cheese.
Oh, geez.
That was a good one. Go ahead.
That wasn't a good one. It stunk Edward G. Robinson lit. But here we go. What I said, you can just look at the war, how that was covered. The POW. Shoshana Johnson was the talk of the week for a half hour. They were like, we're going to save Shoshana Johnson. Then about a minute later, it's like, beat it, black bitch. Jessica's missing. So, that's how it goes. They think people really do believe that white lives are more important than black life. That's how it is.
I don't think you're 100% wrong about it, but I don't think that's all there is. I think that whatever is sensationalistic, whatever is going to sell papers. I mean, when Abner Louima had a plunger stuck in his dumper, he was on television more than Seinfeld.
You see the difference? That's the difference right there.
Yeah, that's hot.
It's not. How's that different? It is different because they get laws. Whenever a white girl, something happens to a white girl, they have laws. They make laws. Megan's law, Amber's law. It's no law for black kids.
You know why?
They just let us escape like the girl did in Philadelphia. They'll get,
It's a lot easier to say Amber Alert than Shatiqua.
It almost went. I was going to go the same way.
Damn it.
Shatiqua.
Letitia.
Letitia, Aisha, whatever.
Well, anyway.
I do remember Wolf Blitzer going on CNN going, beat it, black bitch. I do remember. That's how he segued into that other story.
But I think we do. Everybody's guilty of looking at beauty and treating it differently.
Sure.
Like if you're walking down the street, a fat girl kick you in the ass, you're going to go, well, you bitch, and slap her or something.
Right.
A beautiful girl kick you in the ass, you're going to think she's flirting with you. Girl, you sure know how to kick in the ass, girl.
What street do you walk down?
It's true. I mean, if Brad Pitt's missing, we're all going to be sad. If Norton's missing. Anyway, this New York Times reporter, Jason Blair, the black reporter, resigned for plagiarism. This past weekend, it was reported that Blair was hired as part of the diversity program and most likely would have been fired except for that, if he'd been white. So I ask you, Keith, would that fall into the category what he did of perpetrating or fronting? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's baloney. That's utter baloney.
Utter baloney. I think the whole thing is a bunch of
poppycock.
Yes, thank you. Should institutions be willing to look past job performance in terms of being diverse? Keith?
Well, they've looked past it for white people consistently. So that's the way it's been all the time. The only time I hear qualified is when it comes to a minority. White guys, they're all qualified.
We are.
You both.
You finished high school. Sorry.
He didn't finish high school. What high school did you finish, Nick? I keep telling you, you're Italian. Don't forget that. You didn't finish high school.
He was homeschooled in the social club.
I'm sick of you.
Leave him alone. Nicky, come here. It was like, what's his face, from Goodfellas. You wasted 8 aprons on that kid.
Part of the problem was this guy it's not a black thing, he was just a bad liar. He was dumb. If you're going to claim you're in San Antonio for 6 weeks, don't turn in $1,100 worth of receipts from Popeye's Chicken on 3rd Avenue.
Why is it going to be chicken? Why does it have to be chicken?
Jimmy, why is it going to be chicken?
Why it got to be chicken?
And especially Popeyes. We don't eat no damn Popeyes chicken.
They're like
what's wrong with you?
Boston fried chicken and Kansas.
Boston.
It's not just about race, though. Why do we have to keep lowering the standards out of fairness when it comes to gender? I'm on the subway, I see a sign that says, "This is Irene. Irene lives in the Bronx. Irene likes gospel music. Irene's mentally challenged. Irene works for the MTA." That explains why I've been waiting for this train for 2.5 hours. I mean, you know what I mean?
Now, what's going to happen to this guy, do you think? I think he's going to be standing selling the final call. A couple of bean pies on the corner of 14th Street. He's going to be writing articles for the final call that you and your buddies will read.
But if you just look at this guy, and it's Jason, Jayson. The guy didn't even bother to spell check his name.
Be careful, Jason Williams will shoot. What's that?
He said, one of the things he said was that there was a lot of pressure being a black reporter, and that he wasn't stealing, he was sampling.
I thought we had a deal that you never leave me alone with these people. We'll be right back. As comedians, one of the main qualities we have is that we can't shut up, even if we try. So what we're going to start doing here is taking this terrible gift, going through the daily stories, and just kind of kicking it with the week's stories. Let's start with this, what do you got on this? First you got this, the guy that cut off his own arm to get away after 5 days and he walked 6 miles. Anybody got that?
Yeah, I get kick it. Yeah, I'm kicking it. They try to reattach his hand, but his penis rejected it.
Hey, folks, when you make a joke about this subject, it's never going to be nice. That's how it goes.
I think it's great. Just because I think it's a good idea for a new reality show. I think you should have to lop off some type of a limb and you get more points if it's your head.
I mean, but everyone has their own achievements. I mean, there was a time when my super was out of town. I had to put in my own paper towel rack.
I just believe like this, how it's so phony, the whole country is phony to me, because they allow you to like scale a 350 mountain, jump over a Grand Canyon with a moped, and they'll let them make you wear a seatbelt. You know, it's like, what the hell is that? Make sure you put that seatbelt on.
Did you say a 350-foot mountain, you jackass?
I mean, I knew you was watching.
That's a dump in Staten Island, you idiot.
That's what I mean. That's the only place I've been at.
We shall overcome. Yeah, it'll be very easy.
Look, there was a movement to revoke Michael Moore's Oscar for Bowling for Columbine based on dozens of supposed inconsistencies and accuracies in the film. What do you guys think of this? He was supposedly manufactured a little consent himself with this.
I don't even think you need to revoke the Oscar. If you want to get rid of it, just cover it in chocolate and watch him eat it.
Well, you know, they were talking about why they wanted to revoke it was because, like, he was fabricating stories and that he had put in that Charlton Heston had
Right.
What was that? Charlton Heston had they made Charlton Heston look arrogant.
Right.
And I'm like, man, he should get an award for that because he has Alzheimer's. You know, just to make him look coherent is great.
He had African Alzheimer's.
How to look arrogant with a bag on your hip.
Oh, Jesus, Nick. Oh, that's
I'm sorry. I thought this was tough crowd.
No,
I'm sorry.
no, Nick. I didn't. You don't realize this is Good Morning America.
Yeah, exactly. Who am I, Katie Couric?
All right, look. Here's a good friend of us all, Ray Romano, and we're very happy for him. Ray will earn $50 million for next season's Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Make him the highest paid actor in history. What do you think of that? I mean, we all know Ray. What?
You had to spend it on removing those chins.
Come on. We're very happy for Ray, all of us. We hope he gets gout His foot falls off. Hope he dies in the street. Listen, but we all know Ray, right? Didn't you start with Ray? Well, actually, you started more with me.
I'm very happy for him because he used to give me rides when he lived in New York from the Comedy Cellar, and I never gave him gas money. And I think it's really unlikely that he's going to collect now.
Yeah.
Here's why I like what's going on with Ray Romano, man, because he made it.
If you say this is good for comedy everywhere, I'm going to jump over here and start swinging right at you. I'm serious. I think it's good for the business.
I'll hold him down.
I'm not going to say it head too large for his body. The point I'm trying to make...
what?
No, I'm just talking to the boss.
How many big head jokes do you make?
I just made...
Yeah, good point. What? No, go ahead, go ahead.
He's the only one with a truly small head on this panel.
Look at your head.
It's true, you're a pinhead.
You ought to be in a bicycle basket in front of the moon. All right. I don't care about any of you. That should go more.
That was hilarious.
That was an ET joke.
Okay, let's move on, damn it. Now I'm sick and tired. I don't know how Ray called all these problems. Over the weekend, Jack Nicholson verbally abused the ref at the Lakers game. Anything?
Yeah. I'm like most people. I'm like most people. I can watch Jack do anything, man. Whether it's about Schmidt or disrupting a basketball game. It's like Philip Seymour Hoffman, you know? I can watch him in anything.
I like this. This is a white guy going to a black event and yelling crap out, just like when they had to go to his movie.
I think that the referees deserve it because they're awful at what they do. So good for them. Why should they not be held accountable for blowing games? I mean, can you imagine if you were so bad at your job? All right, bad example.
Hey, looks like somebody snuck in a couple of acting classes on the weekend. Imagine if you were so bad at your... Anyway.
No, but can I just address the fact? I can't stand that he just said that about black people in the basketball. What is your thing with black people?
Uh-oh.
I'm sick of you and your throwback hairstyle about black people consistently.
Oh, yeah.
It's about to be on.
I knew it was going to start somewhere. Here it is.
He's got some crap in the hood. They're like, why don't you ever confront him, you coward?
Yeah, exactly.
What hood? What are you talking? Nobody says hood anymore, jackass.
If you want to check the score of the basketball game, now's your chance. Just come right back. You know what, folks? Oh, now listen. Last year, 71 people were put to death by capital punishment in this country, and only a few got to watch. So will we ever see public execution? It's only a matter of time. Now, there are arguments for public executions. People say it would be a deterrent to criminals. Then against it, how barbaric we really are would expose that. Well, we're going to find out for ourselves. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to make a terrible choice. These three cockroaches have all been convicted of capital crimes. And tonight, you, the audience, will choose which one will die. It won't be easy, but I have faith in every one of you. Let's take a look at each of these cases. This is Trent. He's a regular brown-banded cockroach who's been a repeat offender for most of his short, miserable life. It all started when he was 3 weeks old and he stole a Cheeto crumb from a colony of ants. Then one day he took a walk, ended up shutting down an entire restaurant. Recently he was fighting over half a French fry with a fellow cockroach and killed him and permanently maimed another. Will justice catch up with Trent tonight? This is Susan. She may look sweet, but behind that pretty face is the heart of a killer. Susan was trying to lay some eggs in private when she was approached by a male named Tommy who was looking for a mate. Instead, what he found was a nightmare that would have freaked out the guys at Orkin. Susan ripped off 3 of his legs and left him to die. She claimed she felt threatened and it was self-defense. But tell that to Tommy's 186 children. This is Lonnie. Lonnie is a vagrant who's been living in and out of filthy roach motels for the past 2 months. One night he killed a water bug, and now the water bug people want to label it a hate crime. Also, Lonnie is a little slow. He stares into space for hours and he's attracted to shiny things. So the question here is, are you willing to execute someone who might be retarded? So, there they are. 3 criminal vermin awaiting the judgment of a higher species. Now it's your turn. One of these poor souls will have to face the spray. The spray is the preferred method of cockroach execution by the state of New York. It's quick, painless, and leaves little cleanup. Years ago, they used to use the shoe method, but that seemed inhumane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your decision. I beg you not to make this choice lightly because lives are at stake. So by your applause, tell me who will face the spray tonight. Will it be Trent? Or Susan? Or Lonnie? I believe Trent actually won. Well, lost, I guess you could say. Looks like it's Trent. Now, Trent requested a last meal of a 2-day-old hot dog, tasty cake crumbs, and spilled orange soda, which he ate earlier. Sorry, fella. We all have our time, and yours is now. Dead Roach walking.
Though I fall through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Thank you, Father. Governor. Hey, yes, he's here. All right, Governor. Stay of execution is right. You've been given a reprieve. The court has thrown out your case. Apparently the BCLU, the Bug Civil Liberties Union, got clemency. We're going to let him go. We got to let him go. There he goes. Ooh, I really did do some damage there. Folks, sometimes miracles come in small, disgusting packages. I think we've learned here tonight that, fate is a cruel mistress. We'll be right back. Listen, being reported missing is one of the worst things that could happen to you, especially if you don't have the essentials like a first aid kit or a publicist. You've been reported missing. Write a newspaper headline and opening statement about what happened. Todd Barry.
Funny man Todd Barry disappears. Appleton, Wisconsin Comedy Club left hanging. Comedian Todd Barry disappeared from a Wisconsin comedy club shortly after learning that his opening act was a ventriloquist. According to eyewitnesses, Todd was last seen shouting at the club manager, "If you think I took 2 flights to go on after Moppy the cow, you're crazy." In Todd's hometown of New York, a candlelight vigil is scheduled today at the 1-bedroom apartment of Todd's best friend, big-time talk show host superstar Colin Quinn.
Jim Norton.
Local model is nowhere to be found. Jim Norton, more commonly known as Mr. December in Leukemia magazine, has turned up missing. Norton is known to frolic behind dumpsters in Planned Parenthood, although he was last seen in Show World on 42nd Street picking his contact lenses up off the floor with a spatula. He was wearing sweatpants, flip-flops, and a cheerleader's panties over his face. He will answer to Jim, James, or Hey You with the transsexual. His father is offering $50 for the safe return of the panties, with or without Jim's head in them.
All right. Nick DiPaolo.
Comedian DiPaolo missing. Friends and family hoping foul play. Stand-up comedian Nick DiPaolo was last seen leaving his parents' Massachusetts home on Mother's Day at 5 p.m. He said something nasty about my baked ziti, how I overcooked it, and how it resembled Bob Hope's bed sores, Nick's mother said. When his father told him to save the comedy for that Tough Show crowd, he replied, "Why don't you kiss my grit, you old guinea?" Then on the way out the door, he allegedly threw a handful of Parmesan cheese in the dog's eyes. His sister claims last year he gave our cat a concussion with a stromboli. It's the same thing every Mother's Day. Good riddance.
Keith Robinson.
Okay. As we established early in the show, I wouldn't have a headline because I'm black. I've probably right under a missing pet story. Has anyone seen my pet turtle? There's a $500,000 reward. He's green with a gray streak down the middle. My kids really miss him. In other news, short, dumpy black man missing for days. If you happen to find him while looking for my turtle, fine. If not, don't worry about it.
All right. Oh. And the final one is me. The headline would be Colin Quinn missing. Hundreds of comedians mourn, not because they care about him, but because he's missing. They're missing their last hope. What's the matter, fellas? A little too real? I'd like to stay, but I have to call their mothers and tell them they're okay. Good night.